This is the first time we've tried this, and nothing has gone wrong before. But here we are to talk about classic literary product, Moby Dick by Mr. Herman Melville. We are going to rewrite it. Me and Andy here. Ian. That's
Hello.
Andy. Hi. We're going to rewrite it for a modern, updated audience who don't speak old pirate or whatever it was that Mr. Herman spoke. Andy, if you give us because your audio was fucked last time I tried doing this, can you give us a little bit of a impression of what to look forward to, what we should be careful of, and a little bit of context around what was going on back in the crazy days when great American novels were produced?
Okay. Well, just for some context on the novel, it's from the 1860s. It received reviews such as Herman Melville Insane. And it also received feedback from reviewers saying, why is it about whaling so much? Which seems a little bit mean.
It's about whaling. They're missing the point.
It is about whaling, but maybe that's something we can address in this draft. How to make, I was going to say how to make the subject of whaling more interesting, but
Palatable,
maybe,
even.
yeah, maybe just avoiding the subject altogether. Who knows?
They're just a bunch of buds going out on a cruise.
Yeah, maybe if
Maybe that's
we get rid of that element.
However, if we remove that element, do we lose the point and that this is all about a quest for revenge and diving down into savagery and just battering sea mammals to death for no apparent reason? Like, we need that there would have to be some other hobby for him to get into.
That's true. I think hobby is a good way of looking at it. We could think of what modern hobbies people enjoy. This
This is a deep, dark road that we were potentially at the entrance to, where we could have people just going apeshit with needle and thread on each other. Like, I don't know how you'd do the pottery equivalent of wanting to kill an albino whale.
I have to admit, it hadn't really occurred to me when you first floated this idea, but just when you said, what should we look out for in the text? It really dawned on me that there's lots of things on the text that you actively need to look out for. So there's violence to whales, and also maybe outdated language, which we're going to have to be really alert for.
Oh, shit. Are we going to get banned?
Not if one of us is reading ahead.
Fuck's sake, Herman.
This is me just, I can't remember it that clearly, but this is me presupposing because it's America in the 1800s. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing they've grown out of those habits.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I suppose we can start. What we're going to be doing here, the format we will be following, as I switch over to my high production value other screen here. This is probably going to break things as I press that. We're going to be reading Mr. Moby Dick, and as we're going, I'm going to be hipping across over to this little tab. And we're going to be...
the long pause really makes it.
And we're going to be rewriting as we go, translating, as you might say, into modern language for normal people to be able to enjoy what is apparently one of the best books ever written, and certainly one of the best books about battering a whale to death and just going absolutely bonkers on a boat.
It's in everybody's top 10, at least.
People pretend they've read it. I did have a bit of feedback earlier. A fella called Graham, shout out to all the Grahams out there, who has taken Moby Dick on holiday with him 6 years in a row and has still not managed to read more than 30 pages in. So this is really for people like Graham.
Was that because he was too busy whaling? Is he a whaling hobbyist?
I don't think so. He's a drummer, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, that also sounds quite time intensive. So.
Yeah, you get a bit worked up on it, wouldn't you?
Mm.
So, we'll read through a paragraph one at a time. I suppose if there's a funny voice to do, maybe we'll have a little bit of a coin toss and decide who gets to do the funny voice. Yeah. I'm hoping there's some funny voices that we'll cover and end up not accidentally just being really offensive.
Yeah.
Because again, 1800s. And then we'll basically distill it and refine Herman Melville's raw writing ore into the I don't know much about making metals, but we're going to take shitty rocks and make it into nice metals with words. And it's with that kind of literary agility we're going to become billionaires on the open seas of the literary market.
How much are you channeling Bic Pen into this, by the way?
I mean, this is going to be a Bic Pen production, I think. I'll split profits with you, but this isn't going to be that Bic Pen. But
well, that's what I was wondering. Is there going to be this cognitive dissonance of people going from Bernie Hot to this? Like,
there might be. Okay.
Yeah. Are they going to want to?
This is going to be a story. This is going to be an adaptation by John Everyman.
That sounds like somebody who's almost like militant about making this story more accessible.
That's us. John and John Everyman. The Johns. So let's begin this literary journey. I'll take the first paragraph. We'll alternate from there. I think I'm losing because this first paragraph is fucking enormous. But here we go.
Oh, it's awesome though. Go for it.
All right. Call me Ishmael. It doesn't say that Ishmael is his name. He just wants people to call him.
First edit then. My name's
Ishmael. Yeah, unclear. Some years ago, never mind how long precisely, having little or no money in my purse is very vague, and nothing in particular to interest me on shore, I thought I would sail about a little and see the watery part of the world, sometimes known as the seas. It is a way I have of driving off the spleen and regulating the circulation. Do they not need spleens back then? Whenever I find myself growing grim about the mouth, whether it's a damp, drizzly November in my soul, whenever I find myself involuntarily pausing before coffin warehouses and bringing up the rear of every funeral I meet, and especially whenever my hypos get such an upper hand of me that it requires a strong moral principle to prevent me from deliberately stepping into the street and methodically knocking people's hats off. This guy's the Joker.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good edit.
Then I account it high time to get to sea as soon as I can. This is my substitute for pistol and ball. With a philosophical flourish, Cato throws himself upon his sword. I quietly take to the ship, and there is nothing surprising in this. If they but knew it, almost all men in their degree, some time or other, cherish very nearly the same feelings towards the ocean with me. When he says the ocean with me, does he mean the same as me, or people he meets just keep associating him with the ocean?
Phased out a bit at the end, but I think he means the same as me. Yeah, they cherish very nearly the same feelings towards the ocean. Okay,
so basically, he's on land a lot. He gets fucking apeshit basically, and just has to get out to the sea. He still doesn't know what the sea is called. Calls it the watery part of the world.
It's a bad sailor. That's why, as we'll see later, he finds it quite hard getting a job on a ship, I guess.
My name is Ishmael, is what we're writing. My name is Ishmael.
We're not going with Joker?
No. We'll reference that later on. Okay. You know, sometimes I get a bit bored. And when I get bored, I tend to act like a bit of a dickhead.
Straight to the heart of the thing.
Yeah, right to the crux. When I'm feeling in this sort of mood, experiencing a bit of a jokeification, if you read me.
Oh, are we making it more complex? Are we going?
No. This is for a modern audience.
Jokeification sounds like the invention of a new word to me.
No, this is in common internet parlance.
Oh, okay.
We'll revise that maybe as it goes, but that's why I'm adding if you read me, because people might not, but it also lets us know that he's crazy.
Cool. And it's maintaining that nice direct address as well. He's addressing the read. That's good.
Bit of a jokeification if you read me. Um, I just get out on a boat on the water. Some call it the sea. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a call to action at the end of the paragraph as well, isn't it? It's like
It's,
if you've ever felt this way, maybe you should read this book.
I mean, I don't know if what this throwing himself on his sword thing was about, but is he saying I'd just kill myself otherwise? Or is this the
Yeah.
more, okay, it's better
This is
than
what-
killing myself.
This is my substitute for pistol and ball.
And I would recommend it wholeheartedly. Okay, the first paragraph translated.
Let's have a look. Okay, I was just listening to you dictating, but let's get it on my screen. So, my name is Ishmael. You know, sometimes I get a bit bored, and when I get bored, I tend to act like a bit of a dickhead. When I'm feeling in this sort of mood, experiencing a bit of a jokification, if you read me, I just get out on a boat on the water. Some call it the sea. It's better than killing myself, and I would recommend it wholeheartedly.
Okay, I think that
What
works.
about do we want a final call to action at the end of it saying, if this sounds interesting, maybe you should read this book, something along those lines?
Yeah, because people these days short attention spans, isn't it? So
Well, it seems like he was going for that kind of effect too. So if it works, if that's what makes a great American novel,
in
far
this
be it from
essay,
us.
I will talk about why this is good for you.
Have we got is Loomings? Let's just take a moment to appreciate that opening paragraph. Are we married to Loomings as the title of chapter 1?
Well, it's a bit vague, isn't it, Loomings?
Yeah. Are we going to
Things-
call it Bad Things Haven't Happened Yet?
Yeah. Bad things
Nothing's
might happen.
There we go.
Okay, so if you would like to read us the next paragraph, and we'll figure out where we go from there.
Okay, I think you should be in charge of the writing. I like that you're.
Okay.
I want a consistent style.
All right, you can be my my consultant, my spirit guide on this journey.
Cool.
There
Okay,
is.
So, oh, sorry. Did you want me to read or?
Well, yeah. What one? I guess we alternate who reads the actual book part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is you now.
Okay. And where do you want me to read down to?
We'll go paragraph by paragraph. Let's have them water gazers.
Cool. There now is your insular city of the Manhattoes, belted round by wharves as Indian isles by coral reefs. Commerce surrounds it with her surf. Right and left the streets take you waterward. Its extreme downtown is the Battery, where that noble mole is washed by waves and cooled by breezes.
What?
A few hours previously were out of sight of land. Look at the crowds of water gazers there.
Okay.
He's making a valid point. If you walk in, he's suggesting if you walk in any direction, you're gonna hit sea.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of places built near seas.
See, I live on islands mostly.
In a way, we all live on islands.
When you're on an island, it doesn't matter where you walk. Odds are you're gonna find the sea. And when you find the sea, what's the part about the mole about?
Okay, I quite like this. So on the one hand, he's got people gravitating towards the sea. It's like that you can't escape it, and we're all kind of, people on islands. And then he's got this sense of this downward, the Battery, so this kind of like seawall, I guess, or whatever. Noble mole, I think he's going for the idea that it's a bit of land, maybe, is what he means by mole.
Okay.
In that sense, rather than a small animal.
Or a euphemism for a wiener on a sunbather.
Right.
I don't know, it's the 1800s.
Are we putting footnotes in our version? Something that could have an asterisk next to it.
No, we're not allowing further reading. We're distilling this into pure truth.
John Everyman's dead against further reading.
He wants people to read as little as possible.
I think you need to write a foreword for John Everyman to make it really clear.
There's going to be a foreword from John Everyman, and then a foreword from an actual writing professor. I wonder if I could find one of those willing to talk about why this is the worst possible interpretation of anything you could ever do, and you should be sent to prison.
Maybe we should see if we can get Moby to write his response.
We'll try.
Yeah, at him.
Didn't he? Is he in prison?
I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with Moby news.
Everyone forgets about Moby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We got sidetracked.
The mole is land.
He's got this nice image where he's talking about people gravitating towards the surf, and then you've got this idea that these breezes are coming in, and just a few hours previously, that bit of wind was out of sight of land, so it's kind of coming in. And then this direct aggressor again as well. Look at the crowds of water gazers. So what's John Everyman's way of summing up this image?
The sea breezes. When you find the sea breezes coming off it, and loads of people enjoying it. Can't blame them.
I quite like that for John Everyman. I expect him to be more judgmental.
No, because if he's writing in a judgmental way, then that becomes like a meta text to it, where that's something else that the reader needs to take into account.
We want them to not have to understand anything.
We want them to not have to think.
Oh, that's perfect. Because a lot of people think that you read fiction to construct meanings, and that you're trying to engage that
reader. This is just so that people can say that they've read a version of Moby Dick.
Brilliant.
Without having to put in the work.
They do say if you think up a good business idea and no one else has done it, that you have to do it. So I guess that's just the law. Example of that.
And this is how we will become billionaires by the end of the year with this one simple trick. Okay, next paragraph. We're coming in with a hot word. Circumambulate the city of a dreamy Sabbath afternoon. Go from Collier's Hook to Coenties Slip, and from thence by Whitehall northward. What do you see? Posted like silent sentinels all around the town stand thousands upon thousands of mortal men fixed in ocean reveries. Some leaning against the spiles, some seated upon the pierheads, some looking over the bulwarks of ships from China, some high aloft in the rigging as if striving to get a still better seaward peep. Love a seaward peep.
Keeping that.
But these are
a big note. Seaward peep.
But these are all landsmen of weekdays pent up in lath and plaster, tied to counters, nailed to benches, clinched to desks. How then is this? Are the green fields gone? What do they hear? What is that ending there? What do they hear? Did they spell hear differently back in the day? Or is he just gone fucking bonkers?
It's what do they hear? So it's like, what are they doing?
What do they do? Oh, what are they doing? All right.
What are they doing here?
All right, there we go. Then there's the other people.
Have you translated the idea of walking around the town a bit?
Oh, no, I haven't actually. You walk around town. Anyways, before you get to the sea, like I feel like we've backtracked.
Yeah.
Let's see. Right, so we got it's just loads of fucking people. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the sea. Just loads and loads of people. all just doing their own thing. They're not sailors. They look at the sea a lot, but they live in houses. Seems to me if they're going to live on land, they may as well enjoy land and leave looking at the sea to proper sailors.
See, it seems like a bit of editorializing from John Everyman. It sounds like he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder.
How else am I supposed to read this? So, Andy, if you would just like to read this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm excited to read this. Okay, so you walk around towns anyways, before you get to the sea. Just loads and loads of people, all just doing their own thing. They're not sailors. They look at the sea a lot, but they live in houses. Seems to me, if they're going to live on land, they may as well enjoy land and leave looking at the sea to proper sailors, like I was fancying becoming.
Have I captured the essence in that part?
I think I don't know if he's kind of saying, what are all these people doing here if they're not sailors, and he's leaving a bit of a trace of mystery to it, maybe.
Right. Okay, let's adjust this then. I do like that, so I'm gonna leave it in, but I'm gonna say,
yeah.
What even are their jobs? I don't know. I'm not a business guy. I'm the Joker. It's just another mystery.
Perfect. Again, we don't want the reader working too hard to build intrigue for themselves. We want to really tell them when they should be intrigued.
Okay.
Okay.
This is you. You got the but look.
Okay. But look, here come more crowds pacing straight for the water and seemingly bound for a dive. Strange! Nothing will content them but the extremest limit of the land. Loitering under the shady lee of yonder warehouses will not suffice. No, they must get just as nigh the water as they possibly can without falling in. And there they stand, miles of them, leagues, islanders all. They come from lanes and alleys, streets and avenues, north, east, south, and west. Yet here they all unite. Tell me, does the magnetic virtue of the needles or the compasses of all those ships attract them thither?
Honestly, this sounds like what I already had written about them, just pretending to like the sea, but they're living on land like cowards. I think I'd nailed that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's no point in repeating ourselves, is there?
Yeah, I'm leaving that one out. I might put in a line about them hanging out near the sea, though.
Yeah. What about this image of the compasses of all the ships attracting them? Like iron filings, magnets drawing iron filings.
Still, they keep hanging out near the water. Maybe it's all the compasses on the ships pulling them in with magnetic force. Like magnetic thing. Yeah, pull them in with magnetic force for a bit of a paddle. Brackets, compasses work by magnets.
Hang on a second. That seems like a footnote that's just been slipped into the main text.
No! Okay, we've got to explain it more point blank. Okay, Like all the compasses on the ships, which work like magnets. No. People can know that happens.
Yeah, I think we're not giving the reader enough credit, are we? The rest of it's definitely pitched for the modern reader, but I think just that part.
Okay. Yeah, we got that. Once more, say you're in the country, in some high land of lakes. Take almost any path you please, and 10 to 1 it carries you down in a dale, and leaves you there by a pool in the stream, and there's magic in that. Let the most absent-minded of men be plunged in his deepest reveries, stand that man on his legs, set his feet a-going, and he will infallibly lead you to water. If the water there be in all that region... I'm lost. Should you ever be athirst in the great American desert... Is that just society? Try this experiment. If your caravan happened to be supplied with a metaphysical professor... Wow. Yes, as everyone knows, meditation and water are wedded forever. Okay, so, correct me if I'm wrong here.
Yeah, go for it.
He's talking about just... I don't know if he's referencing geography so much here, and how if you're in Highlands, you will just find lakes, and that's just how this shit works. I think he's more saying people just end up stopping next to water, just people like it because it calms you down a bit, gets the serotonin going. Is that what he's saying?
I think it's quite a bold thesis, isn't it? He's like saying, if you walk for long enough, you'll find water, unless there's no water in that place.
Okay, so I reckon there's something about water that calms people down, gets the serotonin pumping. Ask any scientist or something. Scientist or nerd. Scientist or school guy. I just ask any scientist. Scientist or science enthusiast.
And this is another good John Everyman theory as well, this idea that if you're thinking, that will send you towards water. If you're just having a good old think. So...
There's a lot of I reckons in this. I reckon that if you just go out walking and it's not a desert or something, you'll end up having a nice rest by some water. It's just what people do. That's basically what it's saying. It's just what people do unless there's no water.
All right, let's read this back. Let's see what we've got on our hands. I reckon there's something about water that calms people down, gets the serotonin pumping. Ask any scientist or science enthusiast. They'll probably agree. I reckon that if you just go out walking and it's not a desert or something, you'll end up having a nice rest by some water. It's just what people do, unless there's no water. Yeah,
that's what he said.
It's what he says. Like, there's no.
You can't argue with this.
We can't dress it up in fancy language. This is what he's saying.
Fuck me! This is a long paragraph.
Oh, is this my turn?
Yeah, I think it is.
All right, hold on to your hats, I guess.
Take a deep breath.
But here's an artist. He desires to paint you the dreamiest, shadiest, quietest, most enchanting bit of romantic landscape in all the valley of the Saco.
South Coast, that is.
Ah. What is the chief element he employs? There stand his trees, each with a hollow trunk, as if a hermit and a crucifix were within. And here sleeps his meadow, and there sleep his cattle, and up from yonder cottage goes a sleepy smoke. Deep into distant woodlands winds a mazy way, reaching to overlapping spurs of mountains bathed in their hillside blue. But though the picture lies thus tranced, and through this pine tree shakes down its... Sorry. I did a bad reading of that bit. I'm going to read
Oh
that little
no,
bit
Andy.
again. But though the picture lies thus tranced, and though this pine tree shakes down its sighs like leaves upon this shepherd's head, yet all were vain unless the shepherd's eye were fixed upon the magic stream before him. Go visit the prairies in June, when for scores or scores of miles you wade knee-deep among tiger lilies. What is the one charm wanting? Water! There is not a drop of water there. Were Niagara but a cataract of sand, would you travel your 1,000 miles to see it?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure that's
That sounds
rhetorical.
really cool. A big, massive sand waterfall.
That's just because we're so used to seeing water now. We're all a bit jaded, and you can go on Twitter and see water whenever you like.
Wherever you walk, you're going to end up next to water anyway.
Oh, true.
Water's basic.
Maybe this isn't a modern
In this
problem.
modern society of more, water's old hat.
Yeah.
That's why we're throwing so much fucking plastic in the ocean.
Why did the poor poet of Tennessee, upon suddenly receiving 2 handfuls of silver, deliberate whether to buy him a coat, which he sadly needed, or invest his money in a pedestrian trip to Rockaway Beach?
I love that song.
Why is almost every robust, healthy boy with a robust, healthy soul in him at some time or other crazy to go to sea? Why, upon your first voyage as a passenger, did you yourself feel such a mystical vibration when first told that you and your ship were now out of sight of land? That needs to be reported to you when you're on the ship as well. Why, upon your first voyage... Sorry. Why did the old Persians hold the sea holy? Why did the Greeks give it a separate deity and the own brother of Jove? Surely all this is not without meaning. And still deeper the meaning of that story of Narcissus, who, because he could not grasp the tormenting mild image he saw in the fountain, plunged into it and was drowned.
Wow. How
But
do you
that
drown in
same
a
image-
fountain? That's crazy.
Yeah,
There will have been people around to help him.
It's ancient times. There's fewer people and more
Less people.
fountains. There's a lot more fountains and just nobody. It's like 90% of people were lost in fountains. But that same image we ourselves see in all rivers and oceans. It is the image of the ungraspable phantom of life, and this is the key to it all. All right,
Lot to unpack.
good luck with this.
Okay, so first off, you got these fellas that do drawings, right?
Mhm.
Yep, nice big drawing of a picture. Oh yeah, and what's the one? What are you? Okay, I got this. All right, so speaking of water, you know paintings.
You know, painting is a strong start.
Have a really good painting with trees and houses and sunbeams and all that good stuff. Even hidden details, like a hollowed out log with a man in it. Was that the line? With a crucifix and a hermit?
Yeah, I think you might be making fun of the things that painters like to paint.
Well, we still are.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
Even hidden details, like a hollowed out log with a man in it. Hiding, we'll double up on that to make sure it's double hidden. Yeah.
We don't. Yeah.
If it's not got water in it, it's shit.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Shit paintings don't have water in them. And then the second part of that paragraph
is that also places are bad if they don't have water in them, I guess.
Also, same goes for places.
Deserts are a rip-off, is basically is.
Niagara. Is that how you spell Niagara? Yeah. Niagara Falls? Brilliant. The Sahara? Fuck off with that. What I'm getting at is that water is pretty good. Even for people who aren't sailors.
Okay, and then we've got to our third point, which is that everybody gets excited about water.
I think we've covered that.
What about the strange vibration that you feel when you're told that you've lost sight of land?
Okay. Or aren't sailors yet. You stick any robust lad on a boat and he's buzzing soon as land's out of sight.
I've just realised we haven't got the phrase seaward peep in here anyway yet.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about putting that in. It was up with...
Maybe that should just be the chapter heading.
No, but we've got bad things might happen.
True.
He's buzzing as soon as land's out of sight. Water is so good that the water in a fountain killed a Greek god.
Yeah.
Or so they say.
And we'll see this recurring throughout Moby Dick, and it is one of the best things about the book. He implies there is some enormous mystery to life just around the corner,
Right.
in basically any image that he's talking about, however silly. And that sustains intrigue for the whole book. Whether it answers that question is for you to decide, reader, I guess. But, yeah.
I love it when books give me the power to decide.
Well, actually, John Everyman doesn't love that. So.
John Everyman is out to put a stop to this kind of shit.
Yeah, so maybe we need to lose that part about the ungraspable phantom of life is what we're looking for in water.
Wait, those weren't my words. Yeah, that's gone. We're just saying water's very good and everyone loves it. But cool. we have been saying this a lot. And yeah. I think we spoke, like, that's almost an entire page just on how water is really cool.
Yeah.
I think we've peaked with it's killed a Greek god, because ultimately isn't that everyone's goal?
Okay.
So I think we potentially skim up until... Oh, but now it's... Wait. Oh, he's talking about becoming the Joker again. He becomes overconscious of his lungs. Ah, okay. Yeah, this is good. I'm going to read this. I'm
just going to read back what you've got just to see what that last section turned out like. So I'm excited to see. Speaking of water, you know paintings. You can have a really good painting with trees and houses and sunbeams and all that good stuff. Even hidden details like a hollowed out log with a man in it hiding. If it's not got water in it, it's shit. Shit paintings don't have water in them. Same goes for places. Niagara Falls, brilliant. The Sahara, fuck off with that. What I'm getting at is that water is pretty good, even for people who aren't sailors, or aren't sailors yet. You stick any robust lad on a boat, and he's buzzing as soon as he's out of sight of land. Oh, sorry, as soon as land's out of sight. Water is so good that the water in a fountain killed a Greek god. So they say. That's beautiful. What I like is that you've retained the poetry of these lines,
but just made them really gruff. You can probably tell from all this water and sailor chat, I've read ahead a little bit. I'm going to get the next paragraph after this one.
He's getting sick if he doesn't go out to sea.
That I'm the kind of guy who never settle down. I'm the kind of guy who goes on boats. You might think I'm not a sailor, though. Too many commas. I think I'm not a sailor, though. But you'd be wrong to think that. Because I am one. And I'll just explain how we arrived at that with the next section.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say that I'm in the habit of going to sea whenever I begin to grow hazy about the eyes and begin to be overconscious of my lungs, which is an insane thing to say, I do not mean to have it inferred that I ever go to sea as a passenger. For to go to a sea as a passenger, you must needs have a purse, and a purse is but a rag unless you have something in it. Besides, passengers get seasick, grow quarrelsome, don't sleep of nights, and do not enjoy themselves much. As a general thing, no, I never go as a passenger, nor, though I am something of a salt, do I ever go to sea as a commodore, or a captain, or a cook. I abandon the glory and distinction of such offices to those who like them. For my part, I abominate all honourable, respectable toils, trials, and tribulations of every kind whatsoever. It's quite as much as I can do to take care of myself without taking care of ships, barks, brigs, schooners, and whatnot. Just proving that he knows about boats by listing different boat types. We've all done that.
We've made it clear we just know boats, and that's probably incorrect.
And as far as going as cook, though I confess there is considerable glory in that, a cook being a sort of officer on shipboard, yet somehow I never fancied broiling fowls. There's something hilarious about broiling fowls, I don't know what.
It's good.
Though once broiled, judiciously buttered and judgmatically salted and peppered, there is no one who will speak more respectfully, not to say reverentially, of a broiled fowl than I will. It's just, I don't know. Sorry, I've already translated this in my head and it's great. It's out of all the idolatrous dotings of the old Egyptians upon broiled ibis and roast river horse. He's insane that you see the mummies of those creatures in their huge bake houses, the pyramids. What the fuck? Does he think the pyramids are an oven?
It's a big oven for baking mummies in.
I mean, yeah, in its own way. Okay.
This is amazing. I don't feel like we can lose paragraphs from this because each one of them is gold.
They are pretty good. Okay, so just to recap. Now you can probably tell from all this water and sailor chat that I'm the kind of guy who goes on boats. You might not think that I'm a sailor though, but you'll be wrong to think that, because I am one. This is largely because I am broke. Not having money and things along those lines.
It's like just becoming like a bad job interview.
I have to get people to pay me to go on boats rather than pay to go on them. I don't take on any of the fancy work though. Like captaining or the other jobs that that get hats. I don't know.
Are you going to put in, here is a list of types of boats? Just to show you I am a sailor.
I'm going to throw that in at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm not super keen on cooking either. I've never broiled a fowl in my life. But have I eaten a broiled fowl?
I'll never tell.
Buddy, you'd better believe it.
I feel like the longer we do this, the more we're going to become Herman Melville. I think his style is too powerful to translate. I think
it can't be contained.
Yeah.
I mean, the goal of this was to trim down the length, and I think we may be adding to it. We'll see how this goes.
I think it's still more succinct.
It's still more understandable. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like going through it paragraph by paragraph, it is gaining something.
I'm not super good. Okay, I need to get the part about where he just goes absolutely insane.
About the mummies.
Okay, yeah, he just goes apeshit. Love broiled fowl. Can't get enough of it. Then does he say he likes it more or less than the ancient Egyptians?
Well, he's saying it's because the Egyptians kind of worship the idea of broiling a good old ibis or a horse that they put mummies in these huge bake houses they call pyramids.
Broil me an ibis.
If you're looking for a quote to put on the back of Moby Dick to make it sell, this is it.
It's ibis and river horse. Yeah.
So the Egyptians loved roasting things so much they even roasted mummies.
River horse, yum. Bake me a mummy.
Oh wait, river horse it's hippopotamus, isn't it?
Well, he doesn't know that.
I think he does. I think literally translates as that.
Okay. No, let's leave it open, even though that's not what John Everyman would do. River horse or hippo? Bake me a mummy in one of your massive pyramids.
I'll tell you no lies.
Bandages and all.
Okay, I need to read this back.
Wait, I'm not done yet. For reference, back to my sailor credentials. Here are some types of bow.
Okay, no, don't refer to the text in this. You have to think of all the types of boats you know.
Yacht.
Yeah.
Brigantine.
Whoa, okay.
Longship. Raft. Ferry.
Is pirate a type of ship?
Cruiser. Pirate, sure. He would know better than me. Skiff, yes. Oh, and a schooner.
Nice.
Skiff.
Just gonna check. I think you might have listed more
and
types of
many
ships.
more. What? Yeah, I can't reference QE2, Emma. It's in the 1800s. And the Queen would sue us for referencing a boat.
Queen doesn't want any part of this stream.
Sorry if you're watching Queen Elizabeth, but please retire. Just everything about
I know it's been a rough week. Okay.
Oh, wait, yeah, that's a good point. Kim in the chat is listing ships from Sea of Thieves. We've already got Brigantine, and there's Sloop. And what's the other one? Galleon. Yeah, okay, that'll do it. Galleon and many more. Okay, so if you would like to read us back, and we'll sense check that.
I would love to read that back. And yeah, just for reference, he only lists ships,
he did 4, didn't he?
Brigs, and schooners. Yeah, so
we've won up to this so-called Ishmael.
If that is his real name. Now, you can probably tell from all this water and sailor chat that I'm the kind of guy who goes on boats. You might think. You might think I'm not a sailor, though. And you'd be wrong to think that, because I am one. This is largely because I am broke, not having money and things along those lines. I have to get people to pay me to go on boats, rather than pay to go on them. I don't take on any of the fancy work, though, like captaining or the other jobs that get to wear nice clothes. And I'm not super keen on cooking either. I've never broiled a fowl in my life, but have I eaten a broiled fowl? Buddy, you better believe it. Love broiled fowl. Can't get enough of it. I'm like the Egyptians. Broil me an ibis, I'll eat it. Roast me a river horse or hippo. Yum. Bake me a mummy in one of those massive pyramids. I'll down it, bandages and all. For reference, back to my sailing production. Good. Here are some types of boat: yacht, brigantine, longship, raft, ferry, cruiser, pirate, freighter, skiff, schooner, sloop, galleon, and many more. Good addition of the quote marks around hippo, by the way. I feel like that's another footnote that's just been snuck in.
No, that's fine. Because we're letting the audience know that Ishmael doesn't know what a hippo is. Okay.
This man's ignorance is astounding.
Oh, he's just repeating himself. This is your line.
Yeah. Okay. No. When I go to sea, I go as a simple sailor right before the mast, plumb down into the forecastle, aloft there to the royal masthead. True. They rather order me about some and make me jump from spar to spar like a grasshopper in a May meadow. And at first, this sort of thing is unpleasant enough. It touches one's sense of honour, particularly if you come from an old established family in the land. The Van Rensselaers or Randolphs
What
or
is this guy talking about?
Hardy Canutis. And more than all, if just previous to putting your hand into the tar pot, you've been lauding it as a country schoolmaster, making the tallest boys stand in awe of you. The transition is a keen one, I assure you, from a schoolmaster to a sailor, and requires a strong decoction of Seneca and the Stoics to enable you to grin and bear it. But even this wears off in time.
Okay, what's Seneca and Stoics? Is this old school drink and drugs, or is this philosophy?
This is philosophy, the original drink and drugs. Actually, no, drink and drugs.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's like saying you need to be a bit stoic if you're gonna go from being. Well, you know what? You take it away. I don't know why I'm.
Furthermore, here are some parts of ships that I am experienced around.
This is a job application.
It sounds like it. Mast, brig, mizzenmast, spar, deck,
wheel.
Yes, wheel, capstan.
Mermaid on the front.
Same as captain. And front mermaid. A fellow like me jumps all over them like some kind of leaping animal or insect. If you come from some kind of hoity-toity fancy family of teachers or something, and you usually get your kicks from making tall boys. What did he say about the tall boys?
Making the tallest boys stand in awe of you by lording it over them, I guess.
Okay, from lording over the tallest boys in class. Friendo, you are gonna have a sharp shocker of a time once people start yelling at you to go all over the ship. Ship doing things. Doing.
I'm gonna list all the parts of the ship again.
I don't think so. So take that. So think on this. You risen Baumers, Isselhelfers. What were the fancy family names?
Van Rensselaers, Randolphs, and my favourite, Hardy Canutius is the way I'm pronouncing it.
Hardy Canute. Hardy Canute. This is real man shit. So I'll just read this one.
Yeah,
Furthermore, here are some parts of ships that I am experienced around. Mast, brig, mizzenmast, spar, deck, wheel, capstan, not the same as captain, and front mermaid. A fellow like me jumps all over 'em like some kind of leaping animal or insect. If you come from some kind of hoity-toity fancy family of teachers or something, and you normally get your kicks from lording over the tallest boys in class, friendo, you are going to have a sharp shocker of a time once people start yelling at you to go all over the ship doing things. So think on this, you risen Baumers, his helpers, Windsors, Randolphs, and Hardy Canutes. This is real man shit. Is there anything I missed there?
Oh,
wait. No, there was something else.
About needing philosophy.
Yeah.
Or it not being of any use.
You best have your...
self-help.
You best...
You best have read all the Elizabeth Gilberts before you get to this.
You best have read some good books.
Wait.
They might help. I don't know. But he does know, doesn't he?
You'd best have read some of the works of those men that probably drowned in fountains, I guess. Okay, that seems good.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So this next one's me. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm already in. Okay, I'm reading the next one.
Go for it.
What of it? If some old hunks of a sea captain orders me to go get a broom and sweep down the decks, what does that indignity amount to? Weighed, I mean, in the scales of the New Testament. Do you think the Archangel Gabriel thinks anything less of me because I promptly and respectfully obey the old hunks? The old hunks in that particular instance? Who ain't a slave? Tell me that. Well then, however, the old sea captains may order me about. However, they may thump and punch me about. This is going to be so good. I have the satisfaction of knowing that it's all right. This guy has been broken. He needs a union.
He actually, ironically, kind of like semi-mutinied and then absconded from a whaling ship. So this is not Melville's attitude.
I have the satisfaction of knowing that it's all right, that everyone else is one way or the other, served in much the same way, either in a physical or metaphysical point of view. That is, and so the universal thump is passed around, and all hands should rub each other's shoulder blades and be content.
Whoa.
Psychopath.
Again, what a gift of a paragraph. What a journey we've gone on. Are you gonna fixate on the idea of these old hunks
Yeah.
ordering them around?
When you're on a ship, like I have been,
I feel like Big Pen would be better for this.
you get used to all these hunky captains. Hunky sea captains ordering you around.
Hunky see, hunky do.
Beating you up with punches and emotional abuse. But you just get on with it.
I think we can.
It's not worse than anything in the Bible. There's some famous angel gonna come down and frown at me for obeying my hunky masters? I doubt it. Ain't nobody free in this life.
Yeah, I think we can editorialize who ain't the slave, because
Yeah.
the answer's actually pretty clear.
Yeah, especially of the time.
Yes.
Although we are an unreliable narrator here, so he's saying, ain't nobody free in this life, least of all me. But I just get on with it. Workers' rights don't make right, after all. I just have faith that every act of abuse unleashed upon my body and soul on those long months at sea will eventually be revisited on my abusers by the universe itself. And in the meantime, we should just be nice about it. Does that work?
I think I like it. Yeah, that's perfect. We're losing the image of everybody rubbing each other's shoulders, but beyond that,
give your pal a back rub or something. You know?
that sounds like a new government initiative. Okay, can I read this?
Yes, please.
Let's see what you came up with.
Oh, this is a long one.
Perfect. Yeah, no, like I said,
this is as long as what we translated from.
Yeah, literally, Melville is editing us. We're not editing Melville at this point. It's brilliant. Okay. See, when you're on a ship like I have been, you get used to all these hunky sea captains ordering you around, beating you up with punches and emotional abuse. But you just get on with it. It's not worse than anything in the Bible. Is some famous angel going to come down and frown at me for obeying my hunky masters? I doubt it. Ain't nobody free in this life, least of all me. But I just get on with it. Workers' rights don't make right, after all. I just have faith that every act of abuse unleashed upon my body and soul on those long months at sea will eventually be revisited on my abusers by the universe itself. And in the meantime, we should just be nice about it. Give your pal a back rub or something, you know? This is actually like weirdly becoming a really well abridged updated text, I think.
Oh my god, okay.
Okay, well, I think we're getting there.
I think we're coming towards the end of our allotted time as well. How much longer is in this chapter? Oh,
Well,
we'll get to the end of this chapter. We're nearly there.
Yeah. I think that's a good aim. We can do a chapter a stream's pretty good.
There's only 139 chapters or whatever.
Yeah, I did. I loved the long pause between messages when you suggested this, and then when you said, "How long is Moby Dick?"
It's quite long, it turns out.
It turns out pretty
But
long.
that's why this is a public service. We're helping.
Mm. It's also why this is a great American novel, because it's got to be long.
That's what the great means. It just means long.
Big.
Also,
In fact,
okay, question. How can it be a great American novel? Deviation time. How can it be a great American novel when it starts off in Barbados or something, and whatever island this is, and it happens in international waters?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. They spend very little time in America, and it's a very multinational crew. I would say.
Exactly. I'm gonna petition to disqualify it.
It's kind of like, and that's actually a good point with a great American novel. It's like, oh, it's addressing something important about the condition of America.
They just dudes on a ship, dudes being dudes.
They literally sail as far as they can away from America and then act in a way which is alien, as he freely admits, to anybody who lives on land. So, I mean, if that's a comment on America, that's fine. But
okay. So give us this line again. I always go to sea.
Okay. Again, I always go to sea as a sailor because they make a point of paying me for my trouble. He's really stressing this. Whereas they never pay passengers a single penny.
We've covered this.
Yeah. But I mean, if we have to summarize it again, just do like bullet points. On the contrary, passengers themselves must pay. And there is all the difference in the world between paying and being paid.
Yeah.
The act of paying is perhaps the most uncomfortable infliction that the two orchard thieves entailed upon us. But being paid, what will compare with it? The urbane activity with which a man receives money is really marvellous, considering that we so earnestly believe money to be the root of all earthly ills, and that on no account can a moneyed man enter heaven. Oh, how cheerfully we consign ourselves to petition. Okay, this is why it's a great
this is good.
Novel.
This is good. Okay. But hey, at least I'm getting paid. Getting paid is great. Doing the paying, though? Worst thing. Worst thing since ever. Since Adam and Eve, because we've got to explain what he was talking about with the orchard thieves.
Yeah, I like calling them orchard thieves, though. Maybe you could say the original thieves.
Brackets. Thieves. Stole that apple and got us all fucked up. Capitalism, baby. The original sin. I've always said. Okay, and then he says, getting paid is,
awesome.
But then getting paid is awesome.
And it's weird that we think it's so awesome when you men go to hell for it if you're rich.
But then getting paid is awesome. So who can really say if it was all that bad a crime? Weird, though, that getting paid is so nice, since these big wigs in the church keep saying that rich people don't go to heaven. This is one of the reasons I have chosen to be poor.
I'm going to read that back. Okay. But hey, at least I'm getting paid. Getting paid is great. Doing the paying, though, worst thing since ever. Since Adam and Eve. Thieves. Stole an apple that got us all fucked up. Capitalism, baby. The original sin, I've always said. And then getting paid is awesome. So who can really say if it was all that bad a crime? Weird, though, that getting paid is so nice since these bigwigs in the church keep saying that rich people don't go to heaven. This is one of the reasons I've chosen to be poor. Perfect.
Okay, we're nearly there.
Nearly there.
Oh, we are actually nearly there. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Finally, I always go to sea as a sailor because of the wholesome exercise and the pure air in the forecastle deck. For, as in this world, headwinds are far more prevalent than winds from astern. That is, if you never violate the Pythagorean maxim. This guy's a fucking nerd. So, for the most part, the Commodore on the quarterdeck gets his atmosphere at second hand from the sailor on the forecastle. He thinks he breathes it first, but not so. In much the same way I do in much the same way do the commonality. Normal people. In much the same way do the normal people lead their leaders in many other things. At the same time that the leaders, they'll suspect it. They don't really know what's going on. But wherefore it was that after having repeatedly smelt the sea as a merchant sailor, I should now take it into my head to go on a whaling voyage. This, the invisible police officer of the fates, who has the constant surveillance of me and secretly dogs me and influences me in some unaccountable way. He can better answer than anyone else. And doubtless, my going on this whaling voyage formed part of the grand program of Providence that was drawn up long time ago, and it came in a sort of brief interlude and solo between more extensive performances. I take it that this part of the bill must have run something like this. And I'm just going to read the next part because I've left myself hanging there. Grand contested election for the presidency of the United States. Whaling voyage by one Ishmael. Bloody battle in Afghanistan. Okay, Andy, you're going to need to help me here. He's gone insane. Herman Melville insane.
I'll help as much as I can. This is amazing. I mean, it's just how many images can you get into a paragraph to convey?
Too many.
One.
This guy was the original Bic Pen.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's the spiritual antecedent of Bic Pen. In the same way that he's the actual antecedent of Moby.
The physical ancestor.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so he goes to see as a sailor. Okay, yeah. All right. There's more than... I'm segueing from my own thing into there's a little bit of liberty going on here. There's
okay, I'll help if I need to.
Okay. To be rich, though. There's money. That's a thing, I guess. So many commas. But fresh air? Can't put a price on that. And as the sailor that they give all the bad jobs to, usually, that leaves me usually at the front of the ship. And since ships go forwards... Wait, is the part of the ship he's talking about at the front of the ship, or is it at the back? Because there's wind could be coming from the back. That's how sails do.
I think he's talking about coming from the front and then blowing back to where the...
He's fundamentally misunderstood how sails work.
Yet he claims to be a sailor.
He's like, the wind first. The fat cat. Did I already say fat cats earlier? I think I did in the church. Oh, no, I said bigwigs. Yeah, fat cats and bigwigs, the two genders. And then the fat cats up on the fancy part of the boat. Have to breathe it. Second, after I've already taken my fill of delicious sea air.
And then we're going to really go off the rails with
suck it down. Whereas that's my germs you're breathing. Ha. Okay, and then he just goes absolutely insane.
Okay, so he's saying, but
then he talks about politicians. Yeah.
So, like, he's saying, I don't know why, after all this time going out as a merchant sailor, I got it into my head to go out whaling. I guess it's that there's this invisible police officer of the fates.
Okay, I think I might need to keep this almost literal.
Yeah, who's always watching me and influences me to do things I can't explain. He can answer this, I can't. And then this idea that doubtless this idea of me going on a whaling voyage is part of some big plan set down long ago, and it would come as a sort of brief interlude between these more important things.
Yeah. Almost like this. Okay, you're gonna need to feed me the lines here. Almost like there's some kind of invisible
police officer of the fates. And this is the literal lines are, who has the constant surveillance of me and secretly dogs me and influences me in some unaccountable way. He can better answer that than anyone else.
I just realised I'm normally talking while I'm writing, but I've not been doing that here, so sorry.
That's okay, this one needs focus. I'm excited. I mean, it makes it more suspenseful when I read it out, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Go for it.
Okay. I have a feeling this is going to be the tour de force paragraph. Okay. There's more than one way to be rich, though. There's money. That's the thing, I guess. But fresh air? Can't put a price on that. And as the sailor that they give all the bad jobs to, that leaves me usually at the front of the ship. And since ships go forward, that means I get all the wind first. And the fat cats up on the fancy part of the boat have to breathe it second, after I've already taken my fill of delicious sea air. Suck it down, hat wearers. That's my germ you're breathing. Ha! Whaling, though. Whaling's a new one to me. No idea why I thought it might be a good idea.
Okay, let me change that to not sure. Hang on, sorry. Okay.
Almost feels like it wasn't my idea. Almost like there's some kind of invisible police officer of the fates constantly keeping an eye on me, following me everywhere, whispering horrible, unknowable truths in my ears when I'm trying to sleep. You should ask him if he's real, because I don't fucking know.
Okay, I like it.
That's the most honest translation of that.
It is. It's a good bit of writing. Oh my god. Okay. And then he goes absolutely apeshit.
And he says, I guess it's set down in this big list of things that are meant to happen somewhere between election of a new president and a huge battle in Afghanistan.
I'm just going to lean into Ishmael clearly being insane.
The
list of prophecies. This, I wanted to call him this invisible C word, but C word beep.
Is that against Twitch's?
I have no idea. I don't want to get banned before I've even started, you know. It's probably in some. Yeah, I'll just use C word. C word brackets ha. That's a sailor joke.
Mm-hmm.
This invisible C word
Citation.
has tucked under his fetid armpit. Fetid. Transparent armpit. Ishmael goes a whaling is probably that in there right next to, and what were the next prophecies?
The prophecies were the first one was grand contested election for the presidency of the United States. And the second one was bloody battle in Afghanistan.
Wait, whaling voyage by. Oh, okay. They're three separate things. That's what threw me off. I thought these were all the same thing. I was like, there's the presidential election while he's going whaling, and also they're whaling in Afghanistan because
it's like saying this is our show tonight. This is what's on the bill, folks.
I got it.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to misread this and misinterpret this, and these are all the things that fate has decreed related to Ishmael.
Okay, so he's going to become. Wait, so the whaling voyage comes in between him and the presidential election.
We don't know who he is. He says, "Call me Ishmael." Not my name is Ishmael. He could be former President Harry Truman.
Yeah.
I don't know my history. And Ishmael in he spelled Afghanistan wrong. I'm going to spell it correctly so that people aren't confused.
Are you going to make a note saying this was spelt wrong in the original?
No. That requires extra thinking. This is the only text people need to be conscious of.
That's true.
Okay.
That's how we're going to pitch it.
The only version of Moby Dick you need.
Just the only book you need to read.
The only book, everyone said. It's the greatest of American novels. Is it still a great American novel if we've translated it into normal speak? Or is it a terrible English novel?
That's what we're doing, isn't it? We're translating a great American novel into a terrible English one.
I'm on board with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Should I read it back?
I can. It's only a quick one.
Go for it.
It's probably in some list of prophecies this invisible C word has tucked under his fetid, transparent armpit. Ishmael goes a whaling is probably sat in there right next to Ishmael becomes president and Ishmael in Afghanistan. Bloodstorm.
It's like when we do the sequel to Moby Dick. And the prequel.
Ishmael becomes president. Ishmael's open source now. We can
call me president.
Call me Mr. President.
Whenever I get that feeling when I'm a bit down,
I become president of the United States. Just take the exact same structure.
Let me list some things I know about presidents. You might not think I know much about it.
Okay. Okay, this one's yours to read out.
Okay. Though I cannot tell why it was exactly that those stage managers, the Fates, put me down for this shabby part of a whaling voyage when others were set down for magnificent parts in high tragedies, especially after I'd already been president. And short and easy parts in genteel comedies and jolly parts in farces. Though I cannot tell why this was exactly, yet now that I recall all the circumstances, I think I can see a little into the springs and motives which, being cunningly presented to me into various disguises, induced me to set about performing the part I did, besides cajoling me into the delusion that it was a choice resulting from my own unbiased free will and discriminating judgment.
So that was long story short, we're going to long story
Yeah.
short that one.
Yeah.
Long story short, I didn't know why I became a whale guy. But I do now. And I'm gonna tell you. Is that the gist, or have I misunderstood?
I think he's like saying, I don't know why I got the part of going on a whaling voyage when other people just get to do fun stuff and
Yeah.
aren't beaten by hunky captains night and day.
Had to do cool and fun things. But old Ishmael here. Ishmael gets beaten up by hunky captains for a living.
There's a great turn in this as well, where he's like, I don't know why I had this rubbish role. And then he said, but then when I think about it, I was. I can maybe see where it came from. Maybe something I did.
Okay. Well, he gets beaten up for hunky captains for a living. And now he's gonna go and get whale guts all over him. I don't know.
It's not very Cirque du Soleil, is it?
I don't know what I've done to deserve this shitty hand.
I could have been in Hamilton.
But in retrospect, maybe fate just doesn't have enough toilet paper for everyone.
Oh, God.
Does that work?
It's a sad turn. Let's have a look. Oh, come on. There we go. Some people get to do cool and fun things, but old Ishmael gets beaten up by funky captains for a living. And now he's going to go and get whale guts all over him too. I don't know what I've done to deserve this shitty hand, but in retrospect, maybe fate just doesn't have enough toilet paper for everyone. I think Melville would definitely approve taking a random image and then extending it to the point where it almost doesn't mean anything anymore.
You bend it until it breaks and then you just reassemble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You're
from chief among these motives.
Okay. Chief among these motives was the overwhelming idea of the great whale himself. Such a portentous and mysterious monster roused all my curiosity. Then the wild and distant seas where he rolled his island bulk, the undeliverable nameless perils of the whale. These, with all the attending marvels of 1,000 Patagonian sights and sounds, helped sway me on my wish. I'll sway me to my wish. With other men, perhaps, such things would not have been inducements, but as for me, I am tormented with an everlasting itch for things remote. I love to sail forbidden seas and land on barbarous coasts, not ignoring what is good. I am quick to perceive a horror, and could still be social with it. Would they let me? Since it is but well to be on friendly terms with all the inmates of the place one lodges in. Okay. All right.
Okay. Again, Ishmael really setting the bar.
Okay. So he gets the sales pitch.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's the bad job interviewee, isn't it? Where he's like, I don't really know anything about whales, or didn't.
The sales pitch about the whaling. They just spent ages telling me all about how whales are absolutely massive, like the size of an island, and they're really scary and dangerous. Being a big, tough, and handsome guy, though, I was like, Hell yeah. I'm up for this. Other people, cowards, would not have been keen. Me, though? I'm the kind of guy who likes to go to fucked up places and see fucked up things and fucked up people.
you would definitely have a TV show if you were around today, wouldn't you?
Ross Kemp. This is Ross Kemp on gangs. Oh, I make friends with anyone. Bastards, assholes, monsters, you name it. I get along with it.
That's great.
You're in a place, you may as well get along with the the horrors that inhabit it.
What a pitch for this
Like
book.
I say, less hate, more back rubs, you know?
Okay, do you want me to read that back, or you read it?
I can read that back.
Go for it.
Blah, blah, blah. The sales pitch about the whaling, they just spent ages telling me all about how whales are absolutely massive, like the size of an island, and they're really scary and dangerous. Being a big, tough and handsome guy, though, I was like, hell yeah, I'm up for this. Other people, cowards, would not have been keen. Me, though, I'm the kind of guy who likes to go to fucked up places and see fucked up things and fucked up people. That should be I make friends. Instead of I make out. Haha. I make friends with anyone. Bastards, assholes, monsters, you name it, I get along with it. If you're in a place, you may as well get along with the horrors that inhabit it. Like I say, less hate, more back rubs, you know?
You should change it back to I make out.
No, that is reading too much into it.
So, wow. We shall see.
We covered it.
Excellent.
Oh, wait, hang on.
That's all of it.
There was a part about seeing the nice sights. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good putting in there.
Okay.
I was like, hell yeah, I'm up for this. Other people would not have been keen, even though they said there were some nice islands to look at. No. No, I already have it though. To look at. That's nice to look at. Okay. And then we are. Is this the final paragraph?
Final paragraph.
Okay, let's have it.
Perfect timing. By reason of these things, then, the whaling voyage was welcome. The great floodgates of the wonder world swung open, and in the wild conceits that swayed me to my purpose, two and two there floated into my inmost soul, endless processions of the whale, and midmost of them all, one grand hooded phantom, like a snow hill in the air.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay, so
So he's picturing how cool it's going to be.
So I set about the whaling, and all there was in my head was various pairs of whales. He says two by two, right?
Are you going to list types of whales to show that we know whales? How many whales do we know?
Well, Ishmael doesn't know the different types of whales.
He does.
He's new at this.
But he's narrating from a point of knowledge, though. I mean,
he's not brought us up to speed about whaling. I'm assuming he's going to do that later on.
He absolutely is. Yeah. You better believe
it. Buddy, you'd better believe he's going to tell us about whaling. So I set about to whaling. Set about is a bit of archaic language, isn't it? So I got on to whaling. Yeah. And all there was in my head was thoughts about whales and some foreboding image of what it might look like if there was a really massive white whale with its face sticking up in the air. God, can you imagine? Brackets, I did. It'd look like a massive snowy hill sticking out of the water. Like an iceberg, but whale.
I'm gonna have to read this back.
Okay, you're giving us the whole read through.
Oh, should we do the full read through?
I think we have to do the full read through. That's end of the chapter, right?
Awesome. I also think we should be recording the full read throughs of these chapters so we can release it chapter by chapter as a podcast.
I am recording. Wait, am I recording? I don't know if I'm recording locally. Oh well.
Well.
We'll do something. Got to monetize. Got to become billionaires off of Herman Melville's work.
This is the way to do it.
Yes.
Okay, from the very beginning?
Yes, give us the title and everything.
Okay. Moby Dick for normal people. Chapter 1. Bad things might happen. My name is Ishmael. You know, sometimes I get a bit bored, and when I get bored, I tend to act like a bit of a dickhead. When I'm feeling in this sort of mood, experiencing a bit of a jokeification, if you read me, I just get out on a boat on the water. Some call it the sea. It's better than killing myself, and I would recommend it wholeheartedly. In this essay, I will talk about why this is good for you. See, I live on islands mostly, and when you're on an island, it doesn't matter where you walk, odds are you're going to find the sea. And when you find the sea breeze is coming off it, and loads of people enjoying it. Can't blame them. You walk around town, anyways, before you get to the sea. Just loads and loads of people, all just doing their own thing. They're not sailors. They look at the sea a lot, but they live in houses. Seems to me, if they're going to live on land, they may as well enjoy land and leave looking at the sea to proper sailors, like I was fancying becoming again. What even are their jobs? I don't know. I'm not a business guy. It's just another mystery to me. Still, they keep... Oh, I've lost my place.
Still, I'll pick it up. Still, they keep hanging out near the water. Maybe it's all the compasses on the ships pulling them with the magnetic force for a bit of a paddle. I reckon there's something about water that calms people down, gets the serotonin pumping. Ask any scientist or science enthusiast and they'll probably agree. I reckon if you just go out walking and it's not a desert or something, you'll end up having a nice rest by some water. It's just what people do, unless there's no water.
Okay, do you want me to show?
Yeah, over to you.
Okay. Speaking of water, you know paintings? You can have a really good painting with trees and houses and sunbeams and all that good stuff. Even hidden details like a hollowed out log with a man in it, hiding. If it's not got water in it, it's shit. Shit paintings don't have water in them. Same goes for places. Niagara Falls, brilliant. The Sahara, fuck off with it. What I'm getting at is that water is pretty good, even for people who aren't sailors, or aren't sailors yet. You stick any robust lad on a boat, and he's buzzing soon as land's out of sight. Water is so good that the water in a fountain killed a Greek god, or so they say.
Now, you can probably tell from all this water and sailor chat that I'm the kind of guy who goes on boats. You can probably tell from all this water and sailor chat that I'm the kind of guy who goes on boats. Actually, let's just go on the screen. Hi, we're bigger now. You might think I'm not a sailor, though, but you'd be wrong to think that, because I am one. I can't get through that line. Okay, one more try. Now, you can probably tell from all this water and sailor chat that I'm the kind of guy who goes on boats. You might think I'm not a sailor, though, but you'd be wrong to think that, because I am one. This is largely because I am broke. Not having money and things along those lines. I have to get people to pay me to go on boats rather than pay to go on them. I don't take on any of the fancy work, though, like captaining or the other jobs that get to wear nice clothes, and I'm not super keen on cooking either. I've never broiled a fowl in my life, but have I eaten broiled fowl? Buddy, you'd better believe it. Love broiled fowl, can't get enough of it. I'm like the Egyptians. Broil me an ibis, I'll eat it. Roast me a river horse or hippo, yum. Bake me a mummy in one of your massive pyramids, I'll down it, bandages and all. For reference, back to my sailor credentials. Here are some types of boat. Yacht, brigantine, longship, raft, ferry, cruiser, pirate, freighter, skiff, schooner, sloop, galleon, and many more. Furthermore, here are some parts of the ship I am experienced around. Mast, brig, mizzenmast, spar, deck, wheel, capstan, not the same as captain, and front mermaid. Okay, you take it from there.
Okay. A fella like me jumps all over them like some kind of leaping animal or insect. If you come from some kind of hoity-toity fancy family of teachers or something, and you usually get your kicks from lording over the tallest boys in class, friendo, you are going to have a sharp shocker of a time once people start yelling at you to go all over the ship doing things. So think on this, you Risenbaumers, his Hefflers, Windsors, Randolphs, and Hardy Canutes. This is real man shit. You best have read some good books. They might help. See, when you're on a ship...
weird line.
Yeah. You know what? The original's pretty weird too. Okay.
Yeah.
See, when you're on a ship, like I have been, you get used to all these hunky sea captains ordering you around, beating you up with punches and emotional abuse. But you just get on with it. It's not worse than anything in the Bible. Is some famous angel going to come down and frown at me for obeying my hunky masters? I doubt it.
Ain't nobody free in this life, least of all me, but I just get on with it. Workers' rights don't make right, after all. I just have faith that every act of abuse unleashed upon my body and soul on these long months at sea will eventually be revisited on my abusers by the universe itself, and in the meantime, we should all just be nice about it. Give your pal a back rub or something, you know? But hey, at least I'm getting paid. Getting paid is great. Doing the paying, though, worst thing since ever, since Adam and Eve, thieves, stole that apple and got us all fucked up. Capitalism, baby, it's the original sin, I've always said. But then getting paid is awesome, so who can really say if it was all that bad a crime? Weird, though. Oh, yeah. Weird, though, that getting paid is so nice since these bigwigs in the church keep saying that rich people don't go into heaven. This is one of the reasons I have chosen to be poor. There's more than one way to be rich, though. There's money, that's a thing, I guess, but fresh air, can't put a price on that. And as the sailor they give all the bad jobs to... And as the sailor they give all the bad jobs to... Oh, I've lost my place. That leaves me usually at the front of the ship, and since ships go forwards, that means I get all the wind first, and the fat cats up on the fancy part of the boat have to breathe it second, after I've already taken my fill of delicious sea air. Suck it down, hat wearers. That's my germs you're breathing. Ha! Whaling, though. Whaling's a new one to me. Not sure why I thought it might be a good idea. It almost feels like it wasn't my idea. It's almost like there's some kind of invisible police officer of the fates who's just constantly keeping an eye on me and following me everywhere and whispering horrible, unknowable truths in my ears when I'm trying to sleep. You should ask him if he's real, because I don't fucking know. That started in a line about, no, I don't know why whaling. Yeah, because I don't fucking know why whaling.
Nice.
It's probably in some list of prophecies this invisible C word, has tucked under his fetid, transparent armpit. Ishmael goes a whaling is probably right there next to Ishmael becomes president and Ishmael in Afghanistan, Bloodstorm. I'll hand over to you for the here till the end, Andy.
Okay, let's bring it home. So,
some people get to do cool and fun things.
Some people get to do cool and fun things, but old Ishmael gets beaten up by hungry captains for a living, and now he's going to go and get whale guts all over him too. I don't know what I've done to deserve this shitty hand, but in retrospect, maybe fate just doesn't have enough toilet paper for everyone. The sales pitch about whaling. They just spent ages telling me all about how whales are absolutely massive, like the size of an island, and they're really scary and dangerous. Being a big, tough and handsome guy, though, I was like, hell yeah, I'm up for this. Other people, cowards, would not have been keen, even though they said there were some nice islands to look at. Me, though, I'm the kind of guy who likes to go to fucked up places, see fucked up things, fucked up people. I make friends with anyone. Bastards, arseholes, monsters, you name it. I get along with it. If you're in a place, you may as well get along with the horrors that inhabit it. Like I say, less hate, more back rubs, you know? So, got on to whaling.
Oh, aye. Yeah.
Yeah. And all there was in my head was thoughts about whales and some foreboding image of what it might look like if there was a really massive white whale with its face sticking up in the air. God, can you imagine it? I did. It looked like a massive snowy hill sticking out of the water, like an iceberg, but a whale. Beautiful. Round of applause for this. The first chapter of New Moby Dick.
Very good. I think this is going to help all of the school children out there who have to read this and don't want to spend the 3 years it would take, or 6 years in Graham's case, to get even 30 pages in. I think this is a public service, and I'm not saying that we deserve knighthoods for even embarking on this. Not that I would accept one. Again, sorry if you are watching, Liz.
No. I mean, it's got British Empire in the title.
Yeah, it's just very bad. Just dissolve it. We'll have a chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is very good for us. And in this COVID work from home life, we can't give each other pats on the back or rub our friends' backs, but we can at least give ourselves one of those.
Yeah, I'm going to do it too. I did it on the wrong side, so you actually can't see me doing it. There we go.
So if I could get a back rubs in the chat, let's go out there, make the world a nicer place, and let's get ready to hear about how much blood is in a whale in coming chapters. Anything else you would like to say to close this off, Andy?
I think you've wrapped it up perfectly. Just that I can't see how anyone could have done a better job.
If Herman Melville was alive today and had an internet connection and was on this stream, please let us know if you're there, Ghost Herman, by the way. I think he wouldn't be that angry about this. Because he probably respects copyright law. And he knows he can't stop us. All right, let's end it there, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye. I'm ending the stream now. Bye. Bye.